Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we're going to continue Equinus, the spirit horse. Even though it's a horse man and not just a horse, but whatever. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. And let's get started. Chapter 4, Tom's Choice. "Storm!" shouted Tom, his voice hoarse. Suddenly he saw the beast flicker and charge into the ghostly form. And instead of crushing Storm, he charged straight through him. The air around the horse and beast shuddered, giving off a harsh silver light. Tom felt the force of it pushing him backwards. Silver bowed his head, and Elenna held up her hands to shield herself from the blazing glare. Tom saw Storm drop to his knees. Equinus reared around, and Tom saw that his evil black heart had swelled in his chest and pounded more strongly than before. The beast gave a shriek of triumph, and every angle on his mocking skeletal face stood out sharp and cruel. Then he galloped off towards the forest, churning the dust around him as he went. In an instant he had vanished. Tom turned back to Storm. He could see that his friend was taking in deep, shuddering breaths. He was still alive. Tom raced over to him, with Elenna close behind. But even before Tom reached Storm, he knew that something was wrong. The stallion was making no effort to stand up. Tom took the horse's bridle and helped him to his feet. He stroked him soothingly, but Storm stood silently and seemed unable to take a step forwards. Even when Tom flung his arms around Storm's neck, the black stallion made no sign that he recognized his friend. "Storm, it's me," whispered Tom, stroking the horse's shoulder. The beast has gone. You're safe." "I think something's happened to him, Tom," said Elenna, looking distressed. "His eyes are strange." Tom gazed deeply into Storm's brown eyes. "They're dead," he said with a gasp. "It's like looking at a stone carving." "Oh, Storm, I failed you. What has Equinus done to you?" Elenna buried her face in Storm's mane. Silver whined at her feet. "I think I can explain," said a voice. Tom and Elenna whirled around at the sound. A soft golden glow filled the air, and a vision of Taladon appeared. He stared gravely at them, and then looked at Storm, who was still gazing sightlessly into the distance. "Father, tell me quickly," said Tom. "What happened to Storm?" Taladon bowed his head in sorrow. Equinus does not kill. He does something even more evil. He feeds on the spirits of other creatures and leaves them to a dismay, cheerless life forever. He has taken the storm's spirit. I am so sorry. I did not think this would happen. Tom remembered how Equinus's heart had grown larger after his attack on Storm. Now he understood. It had swelled thanks to Storm's stolen life force. Suddenly he was full of rage, and not just against Equinus. And here is Taladon explaining the situation Storm has found himself in. He was boiling with anger towards his father too. If you knew all about this, why didn't you tell me it could happen? He shouted at him, fists clenched. I would never have exposed my friends to such danger. You are right, my son, said Taladon quietly. I knew about the power of Equinus, and I should have warned you. Then you have done a terrible thing. Tom almost choked on the words. Elenna took his arm. Don't, Tom, she pleaded. I'm sure Taladon can explain. I hope so, Elenna, Tom's father said in the same quiet tone. You see, I was convinced that you'd be able to use one of your many powers to overcome Equinus, but I was wrong to think that. I was wrong to expect that. Tom stared hard at his father. What do you mean? It weakens me each time I appear to you like this. But I must show you something. Taladon held out his hand and made a movement in the air. A vision immediately materialized in front of Tom and Elenna. Tom started in surprise. There before them was an image of the rearing Equinus. Silver gave a low growl and stood in front of Elenna, as if to protect her. Watch carefully, Tom told Taladon told Taladon told Tom. Ugh. 3 words that start with the letter T. Ugh. This will help you to understand. As he spoke, Tom himself appeared in the vision. Now Tom realized what his father was showing him. It was the struggle he had just had with Equinus. He saw himself brandishing his sword and trying to leap at the beast's black heart. It filled him with horror to relive the terrible moment. To see himself crouched ready for the giant leap, and then finding that he was unable to do it. A feeling of utter helplessness flooded over him again. As in the vision, he saw Equinus charge at Storm and pass through him. Taladon raised a hand and the vision was gone. Elenna had teared up. Elenna had tears running down her face. She wiped them away, as if she didn't want anyone to see. Tom swallowed down his own grief for the noble stallion who was lost to him forever. What good were his quests without Storm by his side? I failed, said Tom brokenly. Why are you reminding me of this? Taladon shook his head. If it was not your failure, my son, he said, looking kindly at him. Something happened that you could not overcome. Tom shot a questioning glance at his father. Let me explain, Taladon continued. You took on the task of finding the 6 pieces of my amulet, and I cannot tell you how proud I am that you were brave enough to accept this challenge. But I would not have let you set out if I had known the true price of your quest. He paused for a moment. You see, with each piece of amulet that you recover, one of the magical powers granted to you by the golden armor will return to its true master, me. The armor was once mine, and its powers are returning my strength. That's why you couldn't leap, explained Elenna. The moment we defeated Nixa and won back the first piece of amulet, the power from your golden boots must have returned to Taladon. Tom's father nodded. Now, son, I need to ask you a question, and I want you to think very seriously before you answer it. He looked intently at Tom. I would not, for the word, but put you and your companions in more peril, and there will surely be danger ahead of you. Do you wish to continue with this quest? He looked deep into his father's eyes. If he gave up now, Taladon would be a ghost forever. If he was to become a flesh and bone again, the 6 pieces of the amulet must be recovered, and only Tom could do that. He raised his sword high in the air. While there is blood in my veins, I will complete this quest. Here's the image of Tom raising a sword. That was chapter 4. It was kind of surprising that I did the 3rd chapter in the same video, but it was a short video, so it was like less than 10 minutes long. So, excuse me. So I read 2 chapters in the same video. Hopefully my thumbnail on that video is clear enough. I had to take some creative liberties with that and cover the top and bottom, so only the 2 chapters that I read in that video could be seen. Hope that makes sense. I hope so. Hope that explanation makes sense. But yeah, hope you will join me on Tuesday, while I'll be reading chapter 5. Time is running out. And yeah, hope you like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos. Right, see ya!